Hello everyone, welcome back to Simulated Heaven. I thought I'd do a relatively quick video just to talk about my first impressions of this game, Soccer Manager 2016. Basically, it's a free football management game along the lines of Football Manager. Um, because it's free to play, essentially you can play the entire thing for free in the shop. You can buy VIP status. It's not a lot, and it gives you, as it says, become a regenerating player, 3 save game slots, advert free, VIP badge. Advert free, even with the free version, I haven't really realised seeing any advert. I can't remember really seeing any adverts. That's a bit weird. 3 save game slots, yeah, maybe it's worth it. VIP badge, I'm not sure if it's really worth it, to be honest. VIP, and then obviously you can buy the coins. So 10,000 coins is 5 US, and they say that's a special offer. I find it, first of all, a little bit weird that a football management game is a free-to-play game where you can buy these coins, because it kind of feels a bit like cheating. Like, that's the kind of thing you do in Football Manager for cheating. Like, the things that I have seen, and I suppose you have to bear in mind this is my first impressions. I could be wrong with some of the details. It's just kind of what I've seen so far. Basically, you can do things like increase the morale of your squad. I believe you can heal injured players faster. I believe, I could be wrong, and I believe you can also, like, if you are upgrading your stadium or upgrading your training, you can actually do that instantly using those the coin things. So it feels a bit like cheating. I don't know. I've also found some kind of glitchy stuff with the UI. Like, for example, I'm trying to complete the sign up of this game, but every time I try, it won't actually allow me to save the game at all. And this is actually save the details, I mean. And this is actually the second attempt I've made at playing this game. The first attempt, I basically quit after 5 minutes because loads of the buttons I was trying to click weren't working, or it was kind of glitchy. But it seems like they have fixed most of that, because I've been playing now for a couple of hours and it seems to be working a lot better. Anyway, let's do play now. I am playing an Arsenal game. I thought I would play Arsenal, and the overwhelming feeling I have at the moment for this game is I just feel it's kind of boring. Now, obviously, this is my opinion. I've only been playing for a couple of hours, but I just feel it's kind of boring. There doesn't seem to be any life in the game. Just, I don't know. Like, the way that the game works is essentially like the classic version of Football Manager, or a bit like some of the older Football Manager games from years ago where they weren't as complex. So you still have the things like you can upgrade your training, and like I said, you can basically instantly upgrade it for 200 of those coins. So it does feel a bit weird. Like, I don't know how you can make a football management game free to play. How do you get people to buy the coins? I don't know. It seems a bit weird to me. Like, I have never felt like I want to buy the coins, because I feel like most of the things are kind of cheating. I don't know. Or, that's what it feels like. To me, anyway. Okay, so you have a scouting network. You can assign scouts. I've already done that, and they will bring up some players. It's okay. I mean, one of the things that is good is it seems like it has a lot of real player names and real club names for a free-to-play game. I think that is pretty amazing. Usually all of the other, like, Football Manager clones, they usually all have, like, fake names, and I always find that a real turn-off. So I think that's a good thing that they have real player names. Youth Academy, yeah, pretty standard stuff. I can't seem to work out if I can hire and fire these guys. I can't seem to. It seems like maybe they automatically improve as you upgrade. So maybe after I've finished upgrading the Youth Academy, maybe I will automatically get the coaches with a higher rating, because I can't seem to be able to do that myself. But yeah, again, it's like first impressions. I've not been playing the game that long. Medical Centre, the stadium, approval rating. So as you can see, what did I do? The first game I played, I beat Chelsea 3-0 at home, which I thought was a bit funny. Like it seems like they kind of factored in the recent form of Chelsea, because you look at the table, Chelsea are like in 13th, which, that is kind of cool if they are actually somehow incorporating that stuff. I think that is pretty good. Yeah, then I beat Swansea. I had a draw with Liverpool and a draw with Sunderland. One of the things, a draw with Norwich, those three results were kind of bad, and then I got a 1-0 win against Roma in the Champions League, which is kind of unrealistic because Arsenal always do so bad at the Champions League. Yeah. One of the things I don't like is when you're playing a match, things just seem to happen all of a sudden, and you don't know why. So I had a player sent off, I had a penalty, and it just seems to happen out of the middle of nowhere, and somehow that kind of loses my feeling for the game, that I feel that I'm engrossed in the game. I don't know. That's one of the things I've been feeling. So yeah, so you have the overview of the club. I didn't actually buy any players. I just used the money to upgrade loads of stuff in the club, because I kind of wanted to keep the players the same as they are in real life. Squad, like the ratings and everything, like all of the values of the players, it's very easy to understand. It's a bit like a simplified version of Football Manager, or like an early version from a long time ago, something like that. So squad, schedule, tactics. Now, I don't really like, the tactics seem to be not very flexible. For example, I would like to, away from home, play like a counter-attack style, but I can't seem to find that kind of thing. I mean, you can kind of make it a bit like counter-attacking, but I'm not sure if it really is. I don't know, so I'm not that impressed with the tactics, and like I said earlier, I can actually use the coins to boost the morale or the condition of the players, and I just find that a little bit like cheating, which is a bit, yeah. And also the cash injection, I click that, and again, the only way you can actually get a cash injection is using the coins, and I'm so used to in Football Manager that you will get the board who will give you the extra money. I automatically kind of clicked on that, thinking I'll be talking with the board, and I saw all of this, and it just kind of makes me feel not great. I understand it's a free-to-play game, but what I would say is, I think, how can you make a Football Manager game a free-to-play game? Maybe it ought to have been a paid game, but kind of a cheap game, maybe, say, 10 US, because it is quite a simplified Football Manager game. I don't think it's worth the kind of price you would pay for the real Football Manager game. Or even if they, I think a cheaper price rather than free-to-play, it's kind of hard. I think maybe why they made it free-to-play is maybe because they think no one is going to try this unheard of Football Manager game, because everyone just seems to go for Football Manager. Because, frankly, over the past 5 to 10 years, most, or I would say almost all of those unheard of clones of Football Manager have all been crap, frankly. So I think maybe that's why they made it free to play, so they would get lots of people who would at least try the game for free. But then it's kind of weird, because it's, like I said, I find that having a cash shop in a football manager game. I personally find that a bit weird. I would love to know what you guys think. I mean, it might be me, only me. I don't know. Yeah, so not very impressed with the tactics. Also, you you can obviously use their formations, but there's no way of making your own formation, which in this day and age just feels a little bit too kind of, I think that's one of the major things that people enjoy in these kind of games is making your own football formation and things like that. So the instructions in a formation just seem a little bit kind of simplistic, I would say. You do actually earn the coins from like normal play, but it is quite slow. Like I only have 100, and I've been playing a couple of hours, so you could actually save up the coins and use them in the game. But yeah. Okay, so transfers is pretty much like Football Manager. I did a cheeky bid for for Michael Carrick. I wanted to kind of like, test the transfers and see if they're realistic. Because, for example, I sent Flamini, I sent Flamini out on loan to Wolverhampton Wanderers, and I felt like he went a little bit too easily. That maybe in real life he wouldn't want to go there. So I did like a cheeky bid, and it came back saying that they won't sell him at any price. So it seems from early impressions that the transfers seem realistic, but I haven't really done a lot of things in the transfer market, but it works pretty much the same. You just kind of choose who you would like, search, and it will come up here. So it's pretty much the same as Football Manager, but obviously a more simplified version. Okay, so I'll try to show you a game. Arsenal players fired up for the game with West Ham. Yeah, and also this whole news thing, I just find it kind of boring. I find that I'm really not interested. At the start of the season, there was one thing where the media asked me stuff and I had to answer a question, but I just don't have any feeling like I'm interested in that. It just feels a bit kind of meh. Okay, West Ham at home. This should be interesting. Yes, he's a good player, isn't he? Mr. Payet, as we know. Alexis Sanchez. Okay, so, yeah. I've actually been playing this Adelaide kid a lot. Like, I actually saw him in real life in the Emirates Cup, and I really liked him, so I've been kind of playing him a bit. Actually, usually as a substitute, and he seems to be playing pretty well. So Paulista, he just played in a Champions League game, but now he's suspended because he was the player that got sent off. Chambers up, oopsie, and I keep doing that. I keep forgetting to click there. So Chambers for Paulista, everyone else, yeah, pretty much. Oh, we've got Walcott is on 99 condition. Oh, Giroud is on 90 condition. So let me just, so I'll put Walcott in. It does seem that the positions are kind of up to date and things like that, because it does seem to recognise that Walcott is able to play as a striker, and that's a fairly recent thing, so that seems pretty good at least. Okay, so let me just work out if there's any players here that I want to... Oh, obviously Alexis Sanchez. Oh my goodness, I did it again. I always do that. Okay, Alexis Sanchez. Of course. Yeah. So, I also get confused. I mean, this is going to sound really stupid, but because of the way that the players are kind of facing, I get really confused, or I have to kind of think for a couple of seconds where they should be playing on the pitch, if you know what I mean. Yeah. Okay. So who are we going to put on the other side? We're going to put... Oh, so actually we're going to put Ramsey there. I'm going to put Sanchez there because that's how it's been in real life, I believe, and I do. I kind of thought I would play pretty much the team that has been playing in real life just to see how it goes in a game. Okay, so I think I'm pretty much sorted. I don't think there's anyone here that I want to put. I've got Chambers instead of Arteta. I'm not going to put Debuchy. Oh, Rennie Adelaide. I do like this kid, and I've been playing. Oh, I did it again. What an idiot. I'm going to have him instead of Welbeck. One thing that you would say is that in real life Welbeck is injured, and he isn't when I started the game, or he wasn't. I don't know how much you would expect that to be realistic. Instructions. So penalties taker, Cazorla, playmaker, Ozil, free kicks Ozil. Cech is the captain. Probably he wouldn't be in real life, but hey, he has pretty good leadership in this game. So here we go. Finally, we get to see a gameplay match. It's a bit fast, actually. So it's kind of like the old school, what Football Manager used to do. And it seems to work okay. I would say so far the games seem to be fairly realistic. I think that is very hard though in a Football Manager game to make the games realistic, because in real life sometimes there are freak results, but when that happens in a game, lots of people will say, oh, the game's not realistic and all this kind of stuff. So far it seems fairly realistic. Need to check. He's a beast as he is in real life. He does seem to save a lot, which is good. Okay, so a fairly cagey first half. We've got some players down to 84 and 81%. 81 is Cazorla. I'll leave him in a bit longer. Just let me double check up the instructions. Normal, mixed, mixed. I think we'll do short actually. Normal, normal, normal. Everything is normal. We are normal. We are so normal. Okay, let's see if we can score a goal. Sanchez, baby. Okay, yeah, so I think I've played like 5 or 6 matches, and there's like a penalty every other match. Is that realistic? I don't know. Like, I suppose it seems relatively realistic so far, but it's really hard to tell, isn't it? Really. But my overwhelming feeling of this game, it just doesn't excite me. Like, if I was playing Football Manager, I would feel excited. I would feel excited when I score, and I just somehow I feel more investment in the players that I am playing, or the players I sign, or I can't really say exactly why this game does not excite me as much. Like, is it because the UI looks kind of fairly basic. I I really don't know, but I mean, what I would say is that personally, I think they would have been better off maybe having this game as a paid game. So, like I said earlier, you sell the game for like $9.99 US, maybe a bit more than that. You can have a trial, like you can have like a free trial or like a demo, so that might encourage more people to try the game. But having it free to play, I don't think is a great idea. So my kind of recommendation after a few hours of gameplay, and this is only after a few hours, and I could be wrong. It is just my opinion, but I would say that if you really can't afford any kind of football manager game, if you have zero amount of money you can spend on a football manager game, then I would play this game. It's kind of a decent game. It's like a 6 or 7 out of 10, but personally for me, I don't find it that exciting. However, like if you have any kind of a budget, then I would just buy the football manager game. The new one is about to come out. It's in beta. I think it's like $39.99 US. And if you can't afford that, I would recommend that you try to find a cheap offer for the older versions. You could even use, I believe the 2014 version even has the, what do you call it, Steam support, the Steam Workshop. You know, the Steam Workshop, like you can actually go as far back as the Steam Workshop has I'll start this again. Basically, I'm saying you can buy an older version as far back as you can, because obviously the older versions get cheaper and cheaper. So, for example, if you have a budget of say 15 US, you should be able to get the last year's version for that kind of money. If you only have a budget of 8 US or something like that, then I would get the year before the 2014. But I wouldn't buy a version that doesn't have Steam Workshop support, because it's very easy for you to get. I mean, I have the 2014 version, but I can still easily use the Steam Workshop to download a database of players that is up to date. The community is still updating that game, and obviously you can still find the database and install them, like if it isn't through Steam Workshop. But I find that's very easy, right? So I would say that rather than play this game, if you have any kind of a budget for a football manager game, play the real one, the football manager game, and buy whichever one you can afford. Like even an older version of the game, I think is way more interesting than this game. If you have zero amount of money, then I would say that would be the only reason that you would play this game. Yeah, that's my opinion. I apologise, I started rambling there at the end, was not very clear. Hopefully I have made a relatively clear point there, and if you have any questions, of course you can leave a comment in the comment section below, and if you have played this game yourself, I'd love to know what you think, because of course it's really important you get several opinions of a game before you try it, or before you buy it, but you can't really buy it, but you know what I mean. Okay guys, thanks for watching the video. As always, I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.